Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the most up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. Let's get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are mixed this morning, with S&P futures up 0.15%, Dow futures up 0.38%, and NASDAQ futures down 0.18%. Markets have remained steady and stocks have risen higher on positive earnings reports and optimism that the Federal Reserve won't start tapering stimulus in the immediate future. Fed officials are moving closer to a time when they can start reducing the massive bond purchases that have helped keep markets buoyant, but Chair Jerome Powell made it clear that there's still some time and some ways ahead to go before doing so. This, plus an earnings season that is signaling for a strong economic recovery, are giving some good market sentiment today. Elsewhere in markets, oil extended gains from a 2-week high as U.S. stockpiles declined, while treasuries have ticked lower. Over in Europe, shares hit a fresh record boosted by updates from Royal Dutch Shell and Airbus. And over in Asia, Beijing's efforts to soothe market nerves, which included a short-term cash injection from the central bank, has buoyed Asian equities and Chinese large caps listed in the U.S. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Well, Shane, I've been watching the S&Ps all morning. They've been up. They've been trending higher. I looked at Europe. Europe opened up high, then moved higher. I looked over at, the Asian markets. They closed up, so that's a big positive. I look at what's happening today and, and what happened yesterday. You look at what the FOMC, the Federal Reserve meeting yesterday, that their easy money policy is going to continue. And that statement by Jerome Powell, very highly dovish. What do we have going on today? We got the GDP report, we got the jobless claims, we got pending home sales. These are all going to be positive reports that are really going to be indications of a growing economy. So that translates into a positive catalyst for the markets to move higher. Plus, you have that infrastructure bill that it looks like it's being, it's going to be pushed through the House and the Senate. So that's a positive. And you really want to look at stocks that are going to be infrastructure plays. But you also have to keep an eye on the companies who are releasing earnings. Today we have Amazon, we have T-Mus, we have Gilead, we have Pinterest, Twilio. It's a good day for earnings. I will tell you that, Shane.
Let's talk about earnings. Moving into earnings to watch. Bill, tell us what we've been seeing so far.
Start up with iRobot, which is ticker IRBT. They released earnings last night, and they missed by 5 cents on higher revenue. You see the stock is down 10.5% this morning. It's really getting to that inflection point where it becomes a screaming buy, I will say. A 5 cent miss on higher revenue, a little bit overdone. Facebook beat by 59 cents. They did it on higher revenue, and everybody thinks, hey, that sounds great. But no, they came out there and they are kind of guiding for lower for the next 2 quarters. And they're thinking they're going to have decreased advertising revenue incoming. PayPal beat by 2 cents on lower revenue. Merck, they came out this morning, ticker MRK. They missed by 13 cents on lower revenue. MasterCard, ticker MA, Michael Apple, they beat by 23 cents on higher revenue. American Tower, this is ticker AMT, Apple Michael Tom, they beat by 38 cents on higher revenue. And Citrix Systems, it's ticker CTXS, Charlie Tom, X-Ray Sam. They beat by 5 cents, but on lower revenue.
Let's talk about upcoming earning announcements. Bill, what are we seeing there?
Got to start with this afternoon. Gilead, ticker GILD, Grace India, Larry David. Their EPS estimate is $1.73. Expected move there is 3.29%. Decker's Outdoor, that's ticker DECK, David Edward Charlie Kilo. EPS estimate there is for them to lose 5 cents. The expected move is 9%. T-Mus takes his ticker TMUS, Tom Michael under Sam, which is T-Mobile. EPS estimate is 53 cents. The expected move is 3.93%. Twilio, ticker TWLO, EPS estimate is for them to lose 13 cents this quarter. Expected move is 8.14%. And Amazon, ticker AMZN, Apple Michael Zebra Nancy, EPS estimate there is $12.30. The expected move of $4.13%. Pins, ticker PINS, this is Pinterest. EPS estimate is 12 cents. The expected move is 11.98%. X is in, US Steel, X is an X-ray. EPS estimate is $3.08. The expected move is 7.17%. Cube, which is CubeSmart, ticker CUBE. EPS estimate here is 21 cents with the expected move being 5.36%. And we look into tomorrow morning. What do we have? We have Chevron, ticker CVX, Charlie Victor X-ray. EPS estimate is $1.56 with the expected move of 2.81%. Caterpillar, CAT, CAT, Charlie Apple Tom. EPS estimates there are $2.39 with an expected move of 3.9%. Colgate, ticker CL, Charlie Larry. EPS estimate here is 79 cents with the expected move of 2.72%. And let's round it out by talking about ExxonMobil, that's ticker XOM, X-ray Oscar Michael. EPS estimate here is 97 cents with the expected move of 2.65%.
Moving into our economic reports, Bill, tell us what we're seeing for reports today.
Get the GDP coming out at 8:30, as well as jobless claims. The weekly jobless claims will also be released at 8:30. Then at 10 o'clock, we have pending home sales. The GDP report, that's a big one. Jobless claims is a big one, but everyone's going to be reading and looking at that GDP report that comes out 1 hour before the markets open today, Shane.
Moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with one on Uber, ticker UBER. Shares of Uber are down 4.4% in pre-market today on reports that the Japanese investment giant SoftBank is looking to trim its stake in the ride-hailing company. Goldman Sachs is handling the sale of SoftBank, looks to sell 45 million shares with a price range of $44.15 to $46.14. It's speculated that SoftBank is selling the $2.1 billion worth of shares in an attempt to raise cash to cover losses in Didi and Alibaba. And it's believed that SoftBank had $4 billion invested in Didi. And so speaking of Didi, ticker DIDI, shares of the company's stock have soared today in pre-market on a report that the ride-hailing company is considering delisting and going private to please China's regulatory bodies. Earlier, Didi's share price was up about 50% higher before paring back gains to where it's now trading at 13% higher in pre-open. News on Microsoft, ticker MSFT. Microsoft is set to acquire Suppleri, a consumer insight company, on undisclosed terms. Microsoft share price is down 0.11% in pre-market. Other acquisition news, Accenture, ticker ACN, has acquired OpenMind, a commerce agency in Italy, on undisclosed terms. Approximately 110 employees from OpenMind will join Accenture Interactive in Italy. News on Regeneron, ticker REGN, and Sanofi, ticker SNY. The companies announced that the primary and secondary endpoints for their treatment for chronic urticaria have all been met at 24 weeks. And Regeneron share price is down 0.25% in pre-market, while Sanofi's is up 0.52%. Here's some news that might be affecting some production companies like Netflix, ticker NFLX. Hollywood productions of movies and TV shows are getting disrupted again because of COVID-19 and uncertainty over vaccination protocols. Among shows that recently suspended shooting as members of productions have tested positive for COVID-19 is House of the Dragon and a prequel for Game of Thrones, both of which have recently experienced these infections on set. So definitely something that'll be affecting companies like Netflix and the like that require to be on set in order to make their product for people to continue to consume. Elsewhere in news, some news from last night on Hyundai Motor, ticker HYMTF. The company is working with Hyundai Electric Division to develop and commercialize mobile power generators based on a fuel cell system for vehicles. News on Lilly, ticker LLY, and Kumquat Biosciences. The company said that they have been collaborating to discover, develop, and commercialize potential novel small molecules that stimulate tumor-specific immune responses. Kumquat will receive an aggregate $70 million payment and is eligible for $2 billion in potential milestones. Lastly, for me, one on DraftKings, ticker DKNG, and Sports and Social. The companies have entered into an agreement to create upscale sports bars beginning in Nashville and Detroit markets. DraftKings share price is up 1.09% in pre-market. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Well, Shane, I break my news alerts down into specific segments. I'm looking at industries, I'm looking at events. Just helps me react quickly. As soon as the news breaks, I can quickly see if it's going to be a market moving story or not. I look at my FANG sector every morning. What's the first couple of stories I see? Alphabet, Google, Facebook. They all came out on Wednesday and they said all employees must get vaccinated in order to step into their offices. That's going to be a common theme around, governments and the governmental buildings as well as corporate America over the rest of the summer and into the fall. We look at Amazon, ticker AMZN. We know, as I mentioned earlier, their earnings are out this afternoon. It's going to be a big day. Everyone's going to be watching. And Amazon's expected to report really strong profits. They had that Prime Day. They moved the Prime Day up this year. So it's now in this quarter's release. So it's going to be positive. They're really going to be able to boost their sales. The cloud computing should still be strong. Their advertising units should still be positive. But the fact that they moved the Prime Day into this quarter's revenue, that's really going to give it a boost this quarter. I'm concerned about the guidance for next quarter, though. I mean, by pulling Prime Day out of next quarter, it's actually a negative for them moving forward. So we're going to have to see if they give guidance. If not, we're going to have to pay some close attention to that Amazon report coming out this afternoon. We look at Facebook. Facebook came out after their earnings and they said Q3 and Q4 revenue growth to decelerate significantly. Why? Remember Apple's new privacy initiatives where they're saying there's going to be a drop in data for the advertisers to capture and or market towards people. This is hurting Facebook. This is hurting other advertisers. So I'm not surprised that Facebook is coming out there saying that their revenue may take a small hit for the next 2 quarters, and then they're hoping to be able to regain some of it. We look over the Dow Jones 30. We're going to start off with Merck. That's ticker MRK. Merck reports that the Q2 Keytruda drug sales grew 23% to $4.2 billion. That's a real blockbuster drug for them. Let's talk about Johnson & Johnson, ticker J&J, John Nancy John. Johnson & Johnson's plan to explore placing a subsidiary or creating a subsidiary to handle the Johnson & Johnson baby talc products and have that as its shell for its bankruptcy to isolate itself. This is coming into a lot of heated resistance. It may not happen because there's a lot of future legal battles going on here. Walmart and Amazon, the companies have asked India's Supreme Court to restrain the company's antitrust body from seeking sensitive business information in their e-commerce investigation. I'm looking over the options market, and what do I see this morning? This Robinhood IPO. I mean, I'm looking at the other brokers. I noticed that, IBKR, you're looking at one called every 10 puts with a focus on the August 60 puts going on in Interactive Brokers yesterday. Charles Schwab, the implied volatility was kind of flat. But we do see that this IPO coming out from Robinhood, priced at about $38 a share, I believe. It's going to take a little bit of a luster off the other brokers, most likely. In terms of events going on, we've got Ralph Lauren, which is ticker RL, Richie Larry. Ralph Lauren is having a shareholders meeting today that starts at 9:30 a.m. Chewy Holdings, this is ticker CHUI, Charlie Henry under yellow. They're having a shareholders meeting that starts at 10 a.m. Eastern time today. That's what I have for you for hot events, Shane.
Well, let's talk about our Trade Talk picks for today. I'm picking ExxonMobil, ticker XOM. This is an earnings play. The company's releasing its earnings tomorrow morning before the open, just like Bill was talking about. You see oil prices making significant moves over the last quarter. And let's face it, oil companies, they seem to do particularly well over the rise in oil prices coming into earnings. So this is one that we can expect to go higher. And it's already moving a little bit higher in pre-market, but not much, but enough for us to see it's got a positive day ahead. So that's my pick. What's your pick looking like, Bill?
I'm going with Caterpillar. That's ticker CAT, Cat, Charlie Apple Tom. Earnings are out tomorrow morning. It's priced for a 3.9% move. I'm looking at the stock in the pre-market, and it's been rising steadily. That's a good sign. But you got to remember, this is all the earnings going to be really make or break tomorrow morning, and it could move significantly off of these earnings. We're talking a $10 move. You got the Senate negotiations reaching the infrastructure deal. That's a real positive. It's hugely positive for firms like Caterpillar and also real raw materials. But I think that you're going to see some nice gains coming in to ticker CAT, Charlie Apple Tom, Caterpillar today and tomorrow morning. And that's my pick for today, Shane.
Moving into what's hot off the press, the news is hitting the tape as we speak, moving the stocks today. Let's talk about it. So, Bill, look at our headlines. Which are the ones we should be letting traders know about?
DD Global, that's ticker DIDI. DD Global confirms takeover private rumors not true. Alaska Airlines, it's ticker ALK. Apple Larry Kilo. Alaska Airlines is expanding its technology partnership with Sabre to drive profitability and accelerate growth.
Celestica, ticker CLS, is investing in U.S. facilities and has announced its grand opening of its Abelcon Electronics facility in Minnesota.
Aviva, ticker ABBV. Aviva says FDA approves expanded Botox label. T. Rowe Price Group, that's ticker TROW. There's a CEO succession plan. The current CEO is going to be retiring at the end of the year. It's a long way off, so I'm not going to do anything there.
Micron, ticker MU, has begun volume shipments of 176-layer NAND UFS mobile solutions.
Tesla, TSLA, Tom, Sam, Larry, Apple. Tesla's CEO Musk says AI Day to be held on August 19th.
This is just a headline, but Nikola, ticker NKLA, the founder Milton was charged with making false statements. Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing this morning, Shane.
Same here. So that's what's hot off the press. Traders, keep in mind, you can receive the same breaking stories we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out and get a free trial today. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Wednesday. I had Adobe, ticker ADBE. It opened at $620.99 and went as high as $625.93 for a 0.79% gain just before 11 a.m. There were a few other times up to the close where traders could get out a little bit higher. Didn't end up ever going over 1% or getting too high, but it was a nice safe move if we played it well. So it was okay. How did yours end up doing, Bill?
I did okay. I went with Cube Smart yesterday. That's ticker CUBE, Charlie Underboy Edward. Stock opened up at $48.88, and it ran up to $49.34. Now that's a 0.94% move, so that's great. Earnings are being released tomorrow morning, not this morning. So I still think Cube's going to be a good play. It had a profitable day yesterday. I think it'll show more gains tomorrow morning after they release earnings. So Cube was a good pick. It just needed, one extra day for that earnings announcement to come, so we can really see some gains. Not upset with like almost a 1% move, but I was expecting to have more like a 3% move on this trade. But we will see that tomorrow morning.
Nice. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.